It's all a fucking lie. It's all a lie. It all deals with confusion from day Jesus to day Adam, all the way up into Revelation. All the I told my brother at work 2 days ago, and I've been talking to him for the last month about this. That Noah was 14 feet tall, Adam was 16 feet, and Eve was 15. Goliath was 8'8", and his brother was 9'5". All of that shit is in the Bible. And King Or was down there 15 feet tall. It's in the Bible. See, niggas don't study. All they want to do is listen to rap. All they want to do is go online and look at these niggas making these videos about having money or about this bitch or about this and that. And they're wasting all of this.
Dylan,
They're wasting all this time.
how you do?
Hello?
What up,
Who is this?
Rochelle? A-N-D knowledge.
Oh, I didn't know. I thought somebody.
Hello.
Oh, oh, okay.
How you
Oh,
do? Yes.
yeah.
Me too.
And so from there, when you start dealing with this, and you got our brothers and sisters with post traumatic slave disorder, listening to all these rap cuts, listening to these videos and stuff that people are making. And I've watched a few of them instead of getting a book, which your brother that hooked me up with all y'all can get through me, they would prefer to do something else. But see you know the cold thing about that is is that there is no excuse for illiteracy.
And we don't know the book neither.
And you don't know the book either. Okay, see, there is no excuse for not knowing the book. There's too much access to knowledge, not just on the internet, but in the library, in a bookstore. I mean, everybody's path is their path, and they can go wherever they want to go. You have those that'll come out of this meeting that we're having right now, and that'll shoot straight for the sun and might hit a star. And then you'll have those, this is the parable that Jesus spoke on, even though he didn't really exist. But some of the knowledge that's in the Bible are taken from the papyrus and from the book of the dead and from the pyramids and from the hieroglyphics in the pyramids. All of that knowledge is taken and all it is just being cross referenced into somebody else's thoughts, creating shit. And we can do the same by uplifting and saving our brothers and sisters.
Correct. And so the book is called the Book of the Dead.
The Book of the Dead.
Oh, all right. That's what I was asking.
It's the Egyptian book, and then you have different.
Show us.
After
Could, could you screen share it? Mm, that's why you asked that question. Okay, I got it.
yeah, but you know what? I love these type of subjects, and I love you know helping my brothers and sisters. On because I swear I'll probably need just as much help from y'all as y'all would need from me. And I say that humbly. And
And I
the
can
reason,
respect that.
yeah, and the reason why I say it is because It's one thing I know that I don't know, and that's everything. So we
Hey,
learn from one another. We teach one another. We uplift one another, and we are our brothers and sisters keeper. We are that. That's the first rule of humanity and civilization is it's being your brothers and sisters keeper because no man is an island. We know nobody can do this by themselves. I got to have y'all. Y'all got to have me. I got to have my sister. I got to have my brother. I got to have my nephew to make this shit happen.
and I respect and love that because like actually like I was gonna mention the like one because I always hung around my elders, and I remember one of my elders telling me as soon as you realize you know something, that's the first time you realize you don't.
Yeah, you don't know.
Basically, basically saying like as soon as you get to understanding, you realize you don't know everything.
And
If
that's the
that makes
reason.
sense.
Well, it make a whole bunch of sense because I would hope that you got what you just said from what I just said. There's one thing that I know I don't know, and that's everything that I
I
learned.
really did. I
Yeah,
gotta yeah.
yeah, I learned from my brothers and I learned from my sisters. I learned from the questions that you asked me, like he asked me today. Can gas can gold be turned into gas? In other words, I guess the brother was asking me how in the fuck did they get it to where they were going with it, transporting this shit. How they get it there?
What I was doing it
Okay,
today.
okay. Now that and that was just one of my brief scenarios. That I was just just trying to explain to you that that was where I was with that brother.
And
You
that's why I mentioned too that we've been suppressed from a lot of information that you obviously have and a lot of our ancestors gained. No, we were suppressed. A lot of us came out of the suppression. Yeah, okay, yeah, okay. So knowledge uprising, like, that's one of the book. What are the other three?
There's a whole bunch of books, bro. Once you go,
Yeah, and I remember them. What are those? I mean, I'm sorry for like really asking.
well, I mean, if you get in the book of the civilization of Egyptians, you get in the book of the civilizations of Africa, you get in the books. I mean, they got so many books that will explain. I mean, you got books on the Giza, a pyramid. You got books on this pyramid. You got books on the Maya. You got books on the Aztecs. I mean, there is so many books. See, we as a people are so far behind, and I don't mean that to rock nobody's boat who might think that they sharp because I've had to put myself in check that I don't know shit.
No, I would never take that from what you just said. You basically said that we've been,
No, 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 no.
I kind of said that too.
I'm not talking about you or y'all. I'm speaking on myself.
No. I wasn't saying
Oh,
you.
okay. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Let me listen. Excuse me. I apologize.
No. I was saying we've been suppressed. It had nothing to do with us like not seeking it. It just a lot of times you don't know what to seek until you get exposed or around brothers like you guys
Mm,
and have a chance to like really expand your brain because you realize you've been suppressed.
mm. And I agree with you. It's called psychosis. It's see see they're destroying our perception and conception on reality. And they already stole us from our land, from Africa, and made us European. And it's just been so much information and so much confusion on all the information that has been given to us from childhood, from TV, from videos, to where it puts us in a state of mind to where that we don't know if we are being real or not real. I mean, what is reality? What is the perception of reality? How do we perceive it? So when we start looking at those type of things, and when you see the separation, you can see the inside mechanisms that's going on in the enemy's mind to keep us asleep. They bombard us with all kind of information. We're just flooded with so much shit, so much killing, so much shooting, so much politics, so much Trump, the White House, tornadoes, which is HARP, which they sent that motherfucker over there to Barbados. We'll get into that another time. We are so in, we're so drowned in information. They drown us in information.
and nonsense, and especially that hurricane that hovered right in front of where I'm from. Like I'm literally from Palm Beach. It sat there and dumped on the Bahamas.
Man, that motherfucker moved for 3 days, 1 mile per hour for 3 fucking days.
Yeah, seriously, like it did
And
in Houston.
behind the fuck, something gonna sit 3 days in the
No,
same
they
mother.
did.
Now listen to me. How is something gonna sit in the same place for 3 days, moving 1 mile per hour,
I
and
don't
then
even know. I
and
Without them
really,
controlling it.
and then hit just Barbados? Tell them what I told you
I
today.
still don't know. I
Tell
No,
don't.
I know
tell
the
him.
same way it did.
Tell him what I told you today, bro.
It's all you said a heart
Lindsay,
machine earlier.
Crazy. That's what it did. Crazy.
listen, Lindsay,
Crazy. Retarded.
I know how. Yeah, through heart.
in Alaska, and they can
They got
manipulate
Correct.
weather
that.
machines.
Correct.
Yeah,
Correct.
that's what HARP is. HARP, and everybody need to take that down. Look that up. Look up HARP on YouTube, and
And
look up
CERN next.
look up CERN. Look up a
Oh, we
Correct.
know
C.
about CERN. Yeah,
Look up CEN. CERN. Excuse me. Look up CERN,
You got it.
and that should be a subject. See, this is
and see,
what we got to do.
CERN. They're trying to manipulate dark matter. They're trying to make dark matter by making other particles collide against each other, but they're opening up portals
Brother,
to it.
brother,
But they
brother.
can only
Trying
do
to
that through
open
our
up
atmosphere.
the bad, the
They
evil
try.
tip of things.
Thank you. What do it say in the Bible? It says that, and it says it in Jude. And even though the shit ain't real, they still got this shit from other places and other knowledge, whether it's Hindu religion or what. And it says in Jude that, and God locked them up in darkness until the judgment day. Now that place where they're at is called Saturn. Saturn. Saturn.
See,
And so,
mm,
now this is what you need to start studying. If y'all want to know about all this stuff, I can tell you
mm,
where to go look about reason why CERN, which is 17 miles long and over there in England, 17 miles long underground, it's gonna, and then the scientists told them that if they interfere with with dark matter, that it could come back down. They can pull it back down to earth, and ain't no telling what's going to happen. But their ultimate goal is to free their gods. See, everything is a preparation here. When you look online, you'll see that they were putting abortion babies, grinding them up and putting them in certain foods. And some of the foods are Hershey's and Campbell's and stuff like that. And then the people start asking the question, why are you taking abortion babies? Because see, their gods are cannibals. And see, they're preparing you. They're preparing the people. And it's very deep. We can get into that subject once
we can
everybody
because
listen, listen to what I'm saying, but not right now. But once everybody get into a study, when everybody be on one accord, let's say let's read the book that Lindsay is reading right now. Did God make the devil? Everybody read 10 to 15 pages of it, and that's what we talk about. And then the next week we talk about the 30 pages to 50 or to 60 even. Everybody read that and study that within a week. And it's about it's about 80 pages, 90 pages. And we get through that in a month. And see, that's staying focused. And see, that's how you crawl before you walk. I mean, when you start jumping in and out of subjects, yes, that's very good because it's sometimes we all can answer each other's questions.
121 pages to be exact.
Yeah, we can all answer each other's questions, and also verify each other's answers by going on the internet because it's going to tell you, what's real and what ain't real. Um, I don't believe everything that I see on there, but when it comes to certain knowledge and scriptures and history, I would say they're pretty honest. Going forth with you know explaining to you like America before it became America. It's called Amora, and then before Amora, it was called something else, and it goes on and on and on. Like you say, you never exalt knowledge unless someone else speaks.
No, and that's what I was going to ask you because you was speaking on. I don't want to go there yet. Actually, like when you were speaking about Bell, and like, it was crazy, like because something like when you were speaking on, we should go through like 15 pages each or 20 pages each and discern those pages. That's what was speaking through me. But when you mentioned just now was the question that I had when we was first getting started talking about like Giza and Egypt and all that. I was wanting to ask like how did America like fall into this?
America is the children of England and the British. They're all the same race. They're all just different nationalities, including your Jews and your Arabs, your Turkish, your Dutch, all of those, your Scottish. They're all the same people. What they did was wrote themselves into the history of the black man from the papyrus, from the Book of the Dead, and from the hieroglyphics, and from all of the things that when they went over there to rob in Egypt, and then when they stole us from Africa, they took all of our ancestors' knowledge to where that they used our ancestors' knowledge to put us to sleep. After they decided that they would rob us and put our the children of the ancestors to sleep, they started that as a slavery move. Not only is that one of the top reasons why they invaded Africa and enslaved the black men and women, only one of our history, only 400 or 500 years just from slavery, and wiped out everything else that belonged to us. The reason why they did that is because they had to write themselves into the history. The big hidden secret of the white man is who he is, how he got here. He can't let nobody know that. So
Man,
all the other shit that black people are hearing and going through and dealing with and reading about, it's all bullshit.
and you know what? It's funny you say that because like that actually sound like to me how basically Africa is America or what we so called it. So basically,
It was all one mass.
mm,
It was all one mass. Like 10,000,
Pangea.
10,000, 20 years, 15,000 years ago. All of this was all one mass. It was all called Kemet
Yeah,
or
I
Ham.
believe that's the ancient. I mean, I hate to use the word religion because religion not even in the Bible.
No, it's an ancient geographical location where Africa
Ooh, I
is.
like that.
Kemet. Yeah.
I know it's already more than that in there. You good? Ain't
What
nothing
it
up,
do?
bro,
What it
man.
do,
Just chilling.
Envy?
You good, bro?
We got the elder building.
All right, be. Who the elder is? What's up, John?
How you doing?
How you doing, my brother and my
How
sister?
you doing, X?
I'm good. How old you is, bro? I'm old too.
No, we ain't asked that. We just listen in the building, bro.
Oh, y'all know I just come to say hi, man. Make sure ain't nobody fussing on the internet, man. That's all.
Hey, much love, Envy.
Y'all talk to One World?
Not yet, but brother Johnny was building.
Okay, go ahead. My bad.
Hey, you man, feel free to come in because he already said like he welcome all questions.
Well, I didn't really know what y'all was talking about. I was just asking if y'all seen One World because
Not yet.
the dude I ain't really spoke to him myself, but the dude Adam, some guy Adam was on the chat with him, and you know Gary and all them was there. And
We ain't
and,
getting
and
into
look,
that
I
right
just
now.
want to say this while we on YouTube Live. What was peculiar was One World showed a schematic of his machine, a schematic. And y'all know I deal with electricity every day. So when he put the
I
schematic up,
like
I was like,
that.
oh shit. I was like, oh shit, that's how it
Oh
works.
yeah.
Okay, and
Yeah,
when he put
The
it up,
it's
I
free
semantics of
said
energy.
the
It's free
semantics of what
energy.
machine?
No,
the
he talking about
schematic
this
to
free
his
energy.
he got a machine. And I want everybody to be hip, you know what I mean? I don't want y'all to just say free energy because
I'm
that's what
already there.
Gary keep getting on his head saying that it's not free. So I want to be real. Like what he doing
Man,
is
he got madness.
he capturing a loss of electricity that in normal machines is lost. And in
Gary
his
got to do
machine,
some more
instead of it
research. Definitely.
no, hold on. Instead in his machine, instead of it being lost, he done figured out a way to capture the energy. You see what I'm saying?
It's a perpetual
And
motion device.
well, it's not that it's perpetual, right?
Yes,
Because if you
because
let Gary up,
once it
wait a
starts,
minute,
it never stops.
no, it ain't. It don't work like that. It stopped. He had to stop it, and he had to reverse it. You feel me? So
Yeah, he has to.
it's not totally perpetual, but what it is, it's still
The
grabbing
madness
energy.
maker.
Listen, in a typical machine that's lost. So like you got a car, right? And when you start your car, the battery give power to the alternator. And then after the car start, the battery ain't in use no more. It's non essential. So what One World got right is some shit where the battery is essential. And the alternator is this little fidget spinner, nigga. You feel me? And the thing about it is, like I said, the battery's still working, but the alternator is doing its own thing. The alternator don't even know it's in the car, basically.
It's a smaller version of a waterfall.
Of a who?
A waterfall.
Oh no, man, a water bomb. You can't do
Yes, a
nothing but
waterfall is a
splash,
perpetual
man.
energy. No, 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 no. I said a perpetual. It's a smaller version of a waterfall.
or a water ball.
Yeah,
Well,
it
listen,
creates its own energy.
it's not that it created its own. It's that it's losing its own, and he done figured out a way to capture the shit that got lost. That's
Oh,
what I'm saying.
That's weird.
He
No,
done
no, no. Okay,
he done
okay.
figured
Maybe
out a way to
I'm
capture
behind.
what they got
You
lost.
can't say it
Right,
that
but
way.
check this out though.
That
Check this out though.
confused.
Check this out though. This why it might be confusing to you because you don't deal with electricity every day, but I do, right? So one world put a schematic up, and it took me like 10 seconds. I was like, damn, that shit worked. You feel me? Now Gary he don't understand it. Then he said
now
he
you
got
know
an
how you
and
know how
hold on.
currency is supposed to travel.
Right.
That's
And what I'm saying is,
being an electrician. You know how you know that.
right. So I get it. Now he showed the schematic, and Gary and his engineer both was like, "Oh, I don't get it. I need to know some more information." Nigga, if I give you a schematic, that's it. There ain't nothing else. Look, I seen this schematic 2 days ago, and I'm telling y'all right now, if I cut my screen on, I can take a magic marker and draw that nigga schematic. I can
Peace,
make that shit
truth.
in my house.
Peace, Quentin.
Hey,
SIL, peace.
You feel me? But this man that went to high
what's up,
school,
baby?
he done went to college and got an engineer degree.
Got you.
He looked at the schematic and he don't know what's going on. How you don't know, bro? How you
We
don't
about seven
go to
people.
school
Come.
for this shit? You can't read the map. The nigga made a map. A map. X marked the spot. He made a fucking map. You don't get it? You don't get it? It sounds like you're not an engineer to me. Straight like that. That's why I'm glad we live on YouTube. I just want to throw that out there. Gary, his engineer, you can't possibly be an engineer if you don't understand that schematic. How you gonna fix an electrical machine if you can't read the fucking map?
Correct. Correct. No, no. I mean, you not saying nothing wrong. We were just like, I hate to step on the elder when he was in the middle of his build, though.
No,
Well,
no,
knowledge told me keep going, so that's why
no,
I just
no.
dropped it.
We want to give everybody a chance to ask questions or statements or like that statement of somatics and that machine that he's speaking about. I mean, that's fine. Give it.
Yeah,
Hey,
my bad, John.
no, hey,
No, no,
Emmy,
no,
you
no, no.
good?
I say everybody, huh?
No, I said I'm
Basically, what I was saying,
apologizing.
he
I
good.
ain't mean to chop y'all off. It's just
Yeah, either
You
way,
you ain't cut
you
us off.
good. It was a good segment or something else.
oh, okay. Well, in the same breath, I mean, good is what that nigga doing. Evil is what Gary doing. Goddamn. And you lying to people, nigga.
I
You
love that.
lying to people. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm out here every day. I deal with
No,
electricity every day.
Gary trying to hide
I
you. You
read
right.
I read the man black marker in 10 seconds. I read the whole thing. He didn't even have to say
Schematic.
nothing. He didn't have to say nothing. All he had to do was show me the board.
This
Oh,
light
okay,
turn
that's
on that, and that light close that.
Excuse
I
me,
see how
brother.
but
I
you
had a
don't see
question for you.
who that.
With with that with the schematic and everything, would he be able to? Do you know if he'd be able to add crystal to it to make it more efficient?
Well, see, that's the thing. He more inclined to this electricity than I am. So all I can do is read his schematic and duplicate what he did.
Yeah,
See,
for real. And actually, you could
he got
create it.
more intel on it. He know what materials to use. You know how thick the wire need to be, how much
Man,
to put in
one word
so he
question to
can
me.
snap.
One word question to me and asked who I was because I asked him what a fuse was, and I was looking exactly how it was laid out. And he said, "Dang, you know what? I forgot they mentioned that." And he
Yeah,
showed it. And I
he
mean,
learning on the fly. Yeah, just like you
no,
said.
no,
Yeah,
no. It wasn't about learning.
I
He
said
already
one
had
world.
it.
Check
That's
me out. I said
that's what
one
I'm
world.
talking about.
How loud is it? I said you got it in a box. I said I noticed that when you open the box, I could hear it through your mic, but then when you
Hmm.
close the box, I can't hear it. I said how
Correct.
loud is it? He said, well, it ain't that loud. And
Yeah,
then the
it's
nigga
not
was like, look,
big.
He was like, look, truth be told, the only reason why he put it in the box was because the fidget spinner spinning, like when he put the meter on it, that bitch was spinning down to 7,000 RPM. That's rounds per minute. So the fidget spinner going 7,000 times around
Yeah,
in 1 minute.
rotation.
Right? Now check it out. He was like, look, the reason why I put it in the box was because one day somebody was in my house looking at it and the magnet shot the fuck off
Easy
and
way to
damn near
hide
killed
it.
it. Damn near killed the nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Easy
Had to
way to
put it in
hide
the
it.
box.
No, no, because honestly, like this type of technology, it's not for everybody.
Well, it ain't that it's not for everybody. It's just not for people that's not willing to, uh be genuine. Like I said, if you was a genuine engineer, you could
Not
have
be
read that
curious.
whiteboard. You could have read the
But
whiteboard
one word
and ran
mentioned
this
that he
algorithm.
he went through this 17 years and never discovered it. He had to discover it on his own, and I know who he got it from.
Well, look, where he got it from
I
was
ain't gonna
from some other
mention it.
people that did from some other people that did it. I do sound, and like I
Correct.
told him, I do sound, so I understood what he was showing. And on top of that, I work on low voltage
Yeah,
electricity,
you
so
yeah
not
you
like
you mess with more
not the shit
ohms.
that not the shit that power your house, but like the
You
shit
mess
that
with
power your
ohms,
car.
resistance.
Right, right. You know
I
what I'm
know
saying?
music.
So I
I
get
know
what he
both
said.
sides.
And when he went to showing it, it's like I said, even me with a basic understanding, I could read that and go, damn, it worked. You
No,
know what I'm
that's what
saying?
I
Now
said, but that's what I
we
meant
supposed to
by
be
like
and,
like
and Gary,
like envy,
Gary and his
envy.
Ivy League homeboy, him and his
No,
Ivy
he
League
not.
homeboy,
No,
they
he
look
not.
at it and they don't
No,
understand.
they
Oh,
looking for a way to. No, they're debaters. They're looking for a reason to destroy it.
but, but that's what I'm saying though.
Come
That's what I'm
on,
saying though. It's it's to a point though, man, where like you dealing with somebody like myself. I don't even want to talk. I don't even
bless
want to
you.
talk to you, bro.
That was a
Because
God bless you.
why are you on the panel if you
Thank
don't
you.
understand? You
No
can't tell
problem.
me. You can't tell me that your job give you the credentials to judge a machine.
It
Then I show
doesn't.
you a map
It
of a
doesn't, and
machine.
that's why you heard knowledge say eh, they're just there for just to destroy and only find reason to destroy it instead of enhance it. We're trying to enhance it. They're trying to
Right, but
destroy
you
it.
see how we talking though. We talking, and when one go
Correct.
get on there with Gary and them, he end
He
up yelling
can't.
and carrying on. It's like,
They
bro, it
can't.
ain't even necessary.
Yeah,
Right, it's not even necessary, bro. Because
they're
look,
the great
you can't.
debaters.
Yeah.
How can
The
you
whole
argue?
conversation they
How
want to
can you
wrangle, and we
argue
don't have time to
with a
wrangle.
map?
We trying to build. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm
Because when
saying? Like, think about
wrangling
this
is
in
nothing but
simple. Think
debate.
about this in simple terms. In simple
Hmm.
terms, think about this. If you was
Hmm.
coming to my house and I drew you a fucking map and you couldn't get here,
Schematic.
nigga, I can't help you. I can't help you. I drew you a fucking map and you can't get here. I can't help you. You feel me? Like, bro,
Correct.
I made a machine. You said that you got this degree. You know how to do all this shit. Well, I
I,
showed you my
I
map,
do.
but you can't read my map. At that
Yeah.
point, bro,
It's
And
get
like
off.
sometimes it
Get
don't
blueprint.
off
even
about.
be the debate.
Get off.
Sometimes
Get
it
off
be to
It's
about
like
cause
that.
blueprint.
confusion. You know what I'm saying?
But look, it's only confusing because everybody got to accept the fact that look, bro, you're not who you say you are.
Yeah.
No, no, yeah,
If you
we've
were who
been
you say
realized that
you are,
about Gary.
Yeah.
yeah. But look. If you realize it, then why even welcome the nigga? Like that's like welcoming a
Because
burglar.
they
Now, I know you gonna take
you're
my
right.
cell phone.
That's a good
I know
question.
you can take my cell phone if I let you in here, but I'm gonna let you in here. Get the fuck out of here,
I
bro. I'm not letting
mean,
you in here.
no, no,
You can't
no,
come in.
no. Actually, the opposition is healthy just to prove it wrong, just to prove you
No,
wrong. The
no,
opposition,
because
no,
look,
and
look, look.
actually, if my device is wrong, I need to know so I can upscale it.
But look, he ain't gonna enhance it unless people got
No, he
questions
already
that
no,
really
no.
understand.
We've been doing this for
And
like
what
two
I'm what
years.
I'm saying is these people don't even understand. Because if they saw the map, they should have understood it right away. There should be no more
Correct,
questions.
but their whole objective is to look at it and find any flaw to destroy it.
Right. And so in that breath, when I show you the map can't have no flaws. The machine works, and this is the map.
Excuse me.
You
Excuse me,
see what I'm
brother.
saying?
Hey, I got my sister over here, and then she put in a little thought. She said that maybe Gary is just major on dyslexia.
Correct. Like
Okay,
no,
but look though, look though.
his
So
only
how long?
adjust, his
But my
only
question, here go
mission.
my question to y'all.
Correct.
How long are y'all gonna entertain the fuck shit? Like, how
No,
long
no.
are you gonna
Actually,
entertain
we
that?
Actually, we
actually,
was just over here, man. We
yeah,
building on some knowledge with the elder, man. We
yeah.
ain't trying
Actually,
to
that's what we
entertain
was
none of that
doing.
right now. You feel me?
That's what we was doing.
All right, well, like I said, I'll listen, man, and chime in
No,
on
no.
that.
I hear you. And
I
actually, he
just
was entertaining your question. He was like, "Man, I want to hear about this." But
well,
that's
that's
what
what
we're
I'm
doing.
saying. Even as an elder, bro. Like, think about what I'm saying as a young
He
man,
did
dog.
say
I'm
that.
a young man, and I got a map, and you supposed to understand, but you don't understand. So once
No,
I
no, no.
realize,
We're not playing sides though.
no,
It's almost sounding like playing
okay,
sides.
well,
You
listen.
know
If
me,
you in the,
heavy.
if we on the chat right now, in this chat, HOTC, and then
Correct.
you got a nigga that's signing on every day to talk to HOTC and tell y'all niggas how y'all not doing what you are
No,
doing.
no,
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
not
yeah.
on here every day. This is his first time.
It don't
It
matter.
does matter.
He's speaking in
No,
reference to Gary. That's what he's saying. Ambitious.
Oh, oh
yeah,
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
speaking in reference
Gary,
to
man,
Gary.
man, we wait.
He's speaking
Man,
in
Gary, a
reference.
waste of time.
Right, but look,
Okay,
if he
I
a
get what
waste
you're
of time,
saying. I
if
get
he a
what you're
waste of
saying.
time,
Like, why are
then
we
how many
having him
times we
around?
gonna keep exactly? Cause we
Hey,
ain't gonna
that's just what
enhance shit. We ain't gonna enhance shit yelling at the nigga on the side of the bus. We trying to fix the fucking tire. Like I can't fix the tire and help you get out on the river. I gotta fix the
why I'm
tire.
yelling at you. And my emotion. Actually, now you drain my understanding.
Exactly my point. Exactly my point. I didn't get to
Mm.
talk to One World until the machine was cut off and he left the house because the whole time he was at the house working on it, it's a
Gary
nigga
had the
yelling at him,
energy.
telling him he don't know what he get, telling him he don't know what he talking about.
I
What
agree.
kind of battery is it in? Nigga, it don't nigga, did you see the map? You didn't see the map? Stop asking
Schematic.
questions, nigga. Stop asking goddamn questions. Didn't you see the map? What the hell is wrong with you? It
The,
said it's got an X on it. The map got an X on it. The X is the spot.
all right.
And
Hey, you
look,
know what? We're gonna.
he literally had an X on that shit.
Yeah,
All
he
right, all
did.
right, all
And
right,
so
all right.
we're gonna come
Let's
back
get
to that.
back on
We're gonna come
topic,
back to
family.
that.
Let's get back on topic, family.
Yeah, we're
Hey,
gonna come back
Mr.
to that.
Johnny.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at
Hey,
I'm looking at the whole shin right now,
Okay.
and if you want to expound on it a little bit.
hmm.
You talking about that machine that you talking about?
No, the whole shin,
Oh,
the whole
Mm.
shin, the dynasty, the
well,
Mongoloids and American Indians, the whole shin.
hold on,
Oh,
hold on, hold on. I
that's
just set
good.
back out. I just set back out on
That's a
my
good
deck.
one.
Okay, ask me that question again. Do I want to expound on
We
The
was
the
Indian.
whole?
well, the whole shin, the American Indians and the Asian Mongoloids.
The American Indians
Yeah, and the
and
Asian Mongoloids, the whole shin around
well,
the year 459 AD.
I have
And
lived.
you know what part?
How the Asians came to America also at the same
Well,
time as the Africans.
you doing a good
You're doing
job.
a great job. Like I didn't even know that.
You go ahead on and explain it to them, and if you can't answer the question,
Now,
I'll
well,
answer. But you're doing a very good job. Don't you dare stop. Go ahead, continue.
In the fourth century of China, under the Shang dynasty, uh, there was a mixed exploration where Asians actually came over to the shores of America. It's around the year 459 AD. There they
mm,
came to Theros in California, and they bumped into the Olmecs of the
mm.
nation, and they met the Native Americans and the indigenous
Ex-
people of that land.
Not right now, Rachel.
Now,
Excuse
now
me,
they
Not right
actually
now, Rachel.
knowledge. Hey, I
Go
was
ahead. You
just
cut me
about
right off.
to.
I can't even continue if I
Rachel,
wanted
not
to.
right now.
No, go ahead. Let it go. Let it go.
No, I was just putting a little piece of what I actually do know. There was a book when China discovered America. It was in 1421, and then
Hmm.
the it's ZHANI. Those people came around to the Florida section.
That's the shame.
That's all I was saying.
That's the shame. We right now.
Of course.
We
Yeah, that was the Shanghai dynasty. They started off in 400 AD. Then they ended up
Yeah, well,
coming
we're
on
talking about the
through the
exploration where they actually came over to America, and they actually made it with the people of this land to make what we call now the Native
The
Americans or indigenous folks,
Mongoloid.
the Mexicans, and and that's
Mm,
the image they wanted to perceive, even though it was
mm.
also people with melanated skin over here. You know, they 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 picked that out because it got so populated.
They had the whitewash.
Yeah.
well, they found pyramids here in America, like in Mississippi, Alabama, New Orleans, all kind of
Kentucky.
area.
There's way more pyramids here than
They
in
found
Giza.
and they tore the pyramids down because it was the Olak Africans, the Africans with the wide nose, big lips, and with the helmets on. They're the
I
ones that the Shanghai dynasty met, like Columbus
The
met the
Olmec. A
Indians.
lot of people
Well,
pronounce it as Olmec, the Olmec.
yeah,
And the
they're the
Mongoloid.
ones met the Olmecs here, and that's where your Native Americans come from. After those particular encounters of producing man and woman, you ended up with the making a long story short, with the Native
Yeah,
Americans.
just like how
They,
in Spain it happened, you had a bunch of different nationalities throughout Europe came together. They ran to this place in the exile, and they ended up creating, you know what I'm saying, the Spaniards. The people of Spain.
yeah. So that's some of the history on that first book that I have that I would like a lot of people to read. I wish everybody was here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I told him we can rent a church. We can get us 15, 20 people and start doing some slides. Yeah, and put some, pick us a wall, put a white cloth up there, a black cloth, and show some films of all of these type of questions and information.
And 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 I got like cousins that live down the street from Durham, North Carolina. That's right down the street.
Yeah, and see what I wanted to do is do
D-
a meeting every two
Mr. Johnny, I
weeks.
got somebody in Miss L, only the wise, in the chat. He said the Olmecs are not African. So do you want to
Go.
expound?
mm. Hey,
Hold
Quinn
on.
on the what up,
Now,
Quinn?
the Olmecs sound like Aztecs, Indians and shit. I ain't talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Olmecs Africans with the helmets on that also did Easter Island, and they still can't figure out the calendar. Easter Island was a calendar to the star Syria. They can't figure that shit out. Now they got all these names kind of sound alike, so let's not get confused on
Illustrious, what's
Olmecs,
up, Cook? Hey, man, y'all go to
Aztecs,
the back chats. Y'all can join if you call.
English, and Africans and Chineses.
Yo, I done shared the link all in
Those are
Hangouts. Go to
names.
Hangouts if you want to
We
join this
speaking
call.
facts here. That's written where we can go online as individuals and look this stuff up. We ain't got to take
No,
nobody's word on this call. We can be looking it up as they talk if we want to be, confrontation about, how we feel about certain subjects and about our knowledge.
American Indian.
But
You are elders, like speak.
absolutely, you have to start at the beginning. Yeah, yeah, you can't start in the middle. I mean, you can't. I mean, that's half-ass teaching. That's half-ass conversation because ain't no telling what the hell happened in the beginning. And then how in the hell you gonna start at the end? Ain't no telling what happened in the middle. People be guessing. People, it just they'll throw some shit out there and see who catch it, and then try to correct it or try to have confrontations with it. And I'm not saying nobody on this phone is doing that. That's not what I'm saying. But there have to be structure. There have to be structure
Correct.
and it's got to stay structured into a conversation like this with 5 or 6 people on one line, and we have so many questions. That's why it's always good for people to read the same material and then come back. Yeah, and come back and ask on the next meeting what the first 10 pages mean to them. That's what Bible study is. And everybody go to Ezekiel 25:16 to 35. And we'll discuss that next Thursday in Bible study. So everybody's familiar with Ezekiel 16 to 35. So everybody read it and they come back with questions. They come back with knowledge on that subject. Same thing with the type of structure that we have to build. Takes time. Everybody's intelligent. Everybody has questions. Everybody is on their own path, and their path might pass by things that we may not get to until a year or two later, and they may have already bypassed that. So we have to understand what structure means. I mean, I don't mind jumping from here to there because, I've been blessed to have 45 to 50 years of study in metaphysics and Egyptology. And I've studied the fallen angels. I studied the Pleiades. I studied the Andromeans and who they are.
And that's why we love like you coming by and like dropping that knowledge on us.
Absolutely. And I appreciate that. Um, and also, humble myself to anyone that I can learn from. Give me some knowledge. Let me fulfill, you know, my hunger of spirituality also. That's what I want to experience. And I want you to experience the same thing
Yeah.
from me.
So
Y'all got so much to tell me, man. You got so much to teach me. Go ahead and start teaching me, man.
so let's talk about the guy who doesn't know and lies that he doesn't know. So in the holy books, the gospel, the Bible, the guy asks us a question like, "Where art thou?" As if he doesn't know where you are or he can't find you. So
You're
that
talking
shows
about
there. So that shows
you're
there.
talking about Jehovah.
Yeah. So in Genesis 3:9, Adam hides from him, and God says, "Who told you you were naked?" So it shows he wanted them to be have a certain mind state and not know. And
And it's two things.
Free
It's two things esoteric going on there and
now,
free
symbolically.
spirit.
What's going on when God is asking them, "Where art thy?" And who told you that you were naked? The first thing that I want to say on that is this God, if he know all, after he done bragged that he knew all in the Bible and that he was all knowing God, then he wouldn't have to ask these questions. He would just walk up to them
That's
and
right, Troy.
ask the question
Ghost spells.
that
We
he
getting
need
proof
to
from.
ask
You
them and
getting
ask
proof.
them where the fuck you are. You should know where they at. You know everything. And then the second one is who told you were naked. That's another strike against if you're the Almighty and the all going. Then preachers to say, well, he only asked that question to see if they was gonna lie. Bullshit. That ain't what the Bible said. That ain't what your scripture says. Quit adding
Facts,
and
facts.
subtracting and multiplying.
And then
Come to the truth. Because see, during that time when he was asking those questions, it was what they was calling passing the buck.
yeah.
They were demonstrating and highlighting and illustrating a certain subject, a certain mindset, a certain spirit.
And then in Genesis 3:11, uh, when God lied to Adam and said, "For the day thou eatest from the tree, thou shalt surely die." But we know in Genesis 3:6, Adam and Eve did not die that day. See,
Well, Adam lived to be
that,
how
that,
long?
uh,
How long did Adam live?
shit, he lived what,
A
400?
hundred, 160 some years old, or excuse me, or older. I have to look that up. I think he lived a long time. And the day that God said that you will surely die,
So when Eve talked to the serpent was just telling Eve that I'm gonna give you the truth. I'm gonna show you what your body is for. I'm gonna show you this, and I'm gonna tell you if you eat this fruit, you're not gonna die. So
what
so
it
so
was,
so so
what,
so if you look in the Bible, the not the devil, but the serpent. The serpent never lied to Eve or Adam. He didn't deceive them. He just let them know that I got the truth that your God is hiding from you. He's lying to you.
and he was lying to him. Those were the two brothers, Enki and Ella, that was fighting against one another because Noah was the son of Enki and a whole bunch of other earthlings. And then also Ella had children because those were the ones that were the fallen angels, that those were the ones that saw the daughters of men and that they were fair and took them to be wives. In other words, they raped them and had babies by a whole bunch of them. Well, one of the sons of the god. Well, that's a bunch of bullshit. See, we have to quit listening to names. Even though I have to name certain things to let you know. But see, all this little Jezebel and Azazel and Anel and Trip IL and Triple L, all that is to confuse your ass. These are all the same
And it
motherfuckers.
showed us.
They're all the same. It ain't but about 10 or 15 of them playing on 100 roles.
So they showing us incest.
They
I'm
showing
not,
us
I'm not
what?
arguing
No, no, no,
incest.
no, no. I'm just getting excited. I apologize.
Oh, no, you good. You good.
Okay.
You the
They
elder.
showing us what?
And they showing and they
Incest.
showing that that God, Yahweh, Elohim, Ra, Yahshua, Allah was not a God that was telling the truth, or he couldn't have been a God that knew everything, because when they say that God art in heaven, they're speaking in reference to one God. They ain't saying
He
the
was the
Almighty
devil.
God in heaven. They didn't say the one above all in heaven.
He was
So
the devil. He was the devil. They intertwined on certain roles. Enki, Enki played Jehovah, and Ella played Baal. Sin, the son of Enella, was the one that raped Eve and had Cain and Abel. And then Adam had sex with his wife and had Seth. It's all these are and another thing, sin and is all through the Bible, and he's also Allah in the Quran. Look how many roles he got. Look how many roles in Allah got. Look how many roles Anut got. These fallen angels had territories in Mexico. Inky name started with a Q. He was the god there of the um the Aztecs. Excuse me. They had ships. They had little transportations where they can go from one place to the other. They didn't just snap their finger. They weren't genies.
Now let's go to Leviticus
It was
26:22,
physical being.
where it says, "The Lord
Leviticus.
God Himself," they're speaking on Jehovah, "send wild beasts among you, which shall rob you for your children and destroy your cattle and make you few in numbers, and your highways shall be desolate." Now let's go to when they said send wild. That is Chaldea, which means field. They sent wild beasts into the field. If you look at Kahi, Kahi means living. So when they said Shawi Kahi, that means they sent the wild beasts into the field of the living, which will rob the children, which you look at Shakoli. Shakoli, which means makes childless or makes them miscarry. So you sent wild beasts down here to make these women miscarry. They speaking upon the extraterrestrials, not the things we call angels, what we call extraterrestrials, angels. But they sent them down to the earth to to destroy mankind without mankind knowing. That's why when you see it said shakol. Shakol means to make childless and miscarry, destroy your cattle, and then make few in numbers, and your highways should be desolate. So now that means the Lord God will literally send wild animals to kill you and your children, destroy your infrastructure. If you want,
Okay,
Mr. Johnny, you can expound on
that's
this.
not okay. Good. That's good, and then that's a very good point. When Elish got the second dose from Elijah, and the children were making fun of his bald head. They sent a a she bear, which tore up 38 kids. So that story is repeated. It's just in a different form and it's in a different contents or a different chapter. So you see this God acting with jealousy, acting with anger, a little schizophrenic every now and then, not making his mind up, not knowing where certain things are. You're speaking on a physical being. So, very good point uh, about how
So
this God is
this
so
God
angry
real.
is at the children that he's supposed to create it. You're so angry at the children where you're supposed to create it that you're going to send lions, you're going to send tigers to eat uh, the kids up, give women will have abortions or will lose their babies. And what kind of God does that? If this God was God, wouldn't he know the state of mind
Is God real?
of his creation? Wouldn't he know the state of mind of his creation? Wouldn't he know the state of mind? And all he got to do if he was that magical and a genie and snap his fingers and change the minds of men,
Before he
not
created it.
not to allow them to do those type of things. You feel me?
No, 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 not, and I hear you exactly. But my question is also on top of that is this
I didn't hear a
Wait, you
word.
breaking up, brother.
I didn't hear a word you say. You breaking up real bad. Still can't hear you.
how about
You breaking up, indigenous.
You're echoing.
will he now? It is better.
Yeah, that's better.
No, I was saying
You're back breaking up again.
Can can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you, but you still got an echo going on, man. How many people on this line?
God and how so?
Everybody say hi.
Is this God?
How many people are
I'm here.
on
I'm
here?
here. It's five of us. Well, it's me and four others.
Okay.
It's the brother Dojo, Indigenous, Quick Trip. What up, Quick? And
What up?
Ray
What up,
Chef.
Hey,
bro? Back
how
on.
you?
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, so where would you? I'm trying to get what his question was going to be, man.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
No, I was asking, is this God and how can that be?
Well, if this is God, and how can that be? Uh, let's look at uh, what should we go to? What should we go to, Mr. Johnny?
What? Now if you have a question,
He asked
uh,
he asked if this is God, how could this be?
and I told him that they're dealing with extraterrestrials. They're dealing with aliens or whatever you want to call them, fallen angels that they came here, fell here. I mean, the fallen angel story is about Arjuna and Hare Krishna. The fallen angel story is Hinduism. It's about Arjuna, which was the general of the army of Hare Krishna. You have to read that, and then you can see how they extracted that story into Christianity. And then Arjuna, Hare Krishna story came from Egypt, Africa, and the hieroglyphics and the papyrus and the Book of the Dead. See, none of these gods were spirits. They were physical beings. They are not like us as human beings.
Yes, even in the Old Testament, it says the God Jehovah rode on a cherub and he came down to
Cherub,
earth. So a cherub is basically, if you would think of something with the head of a beast, man, goat, and eagle, that kind of like a
okay.
griffin. Well, if you think
Do
of something that day, he was riding on the backs of
do
griffins.
you know what that means? Do
So
you
that
know
means he
what
had to
that?
be an extraterrestrial, right? He was riding on wings
No, no,
and he was a
no.
beast himself.
Look, listen. What is the emblem of Russia? The bear. What is the emblem of China? The dragon. What is the emblem of America? The eagle. See, do you see how these different continents have their own signs on what they represent? An eagle, a bear, a dragon, uh, each a leprechaun. The Scottish
Their own
represents that
creation
shit.
story.
They all have their own story. Well, this is the same way that was going on back then. That's the reason why Ezekiel saw a lion. Ezekiel saw um, uh, a bear, or Ezekiel saw a cow, or Ezekiel saw a goat with lead feet and all this shit. All this shit is telling you that these were different constellations that has teamed up. These are your Andromeans. These are your Pleiades. These are your Anunnakis, who's from Nebrua. This is the constellation. And they was in a big ship. Notice that Ezekiel said when he was looking at the wheel, he says that, and there were four, and up under the big wheel, and everything, everywhere the big wheel went, the others went with it. Well, look at the president's plane. You have two jets in front of it and two jets behind it. And everywhere that plane go, that the president and other cabinets, the other jets go with it. If it go down, the jets go down. If it turn right, the jets turn right. It's to protect what they call Air Force One. Well, this is the same type of leadership. And doing these constellations, when Ezekiel saw this will, Ezekiel saw a mothership and he saw four wheels following it. It's the same fucking thing. Look at it.
And no, and that make a lot of that make a whole lot of sense.
It's the same
But
thing. It was a mothership that came to Ezekiel, and the other planes followed it. And he described them as animals or insects.
can I mention Nikola Tesla with his tower?
Who?
Nikola Tesla.
What about Nicholas Tesla?
The same motherboard you're referencing sounds
Now
similar.
you're breaking up real bad. You're echoing and all that.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to like move my mic. No, I was saying like with Nikola Tesla, um, 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 tower. Does your motherboard sound similar?
Dude, well, you two. I mean, I know you said Nicholas Tesla, and sound of something sound similar. What now?
Tower. Does
How?
Nikola Tesla tower sound similar of your motherboard?
Okay, Nicholas Tesla Tower. What is Nicholas Tesla Tower?
What a tower he was planning on building.
Nicholas Tesla. My brother. I don't read fiction. I deal with ophthalmology. I deal with Egyptology. I deal
Yeah,
with facts.
I would.
I don't deal with Twilight Zone shit by Rod Sterling. And I don't mean no disrespect by that. But I don't have the slightest idea who Nicholas Tesla is and the tower that he was trying to build. Now I thought you was talking
Oh,
about I thought you was talking about Noah's grandson Nimrod, who tried to build a tower to heaven, but I ain't never heard about no Nicholas Tesla building no tower. I'm, I'm, I'm still here.
No, we just tripping because we know, Elder, you had to you've had to have heard of Tesla's tower. You read a lot of books. This is we know you've heard of the tower. We just
Nikolai Tesla, you know
yeah.
the dude that did all them patents around the same time as Thomas Edison.
Yeah.
He built the Eiffel Tower. Yeah.
Okay, you speaking on Nicholas Tesla that built the Eiffel Tower has nothing to do with the sons and the daughters of the Amorites and the fallen angels. That's what we were talking about.
Yeah, I guess what he was asking, if he was speaking on a mothership and the towers of Nikola Tesla, could that be the same thing? I guess that's what he was getting
No,
to.
no, I was speaking on Ezekiel, and I used the example as Air Force One when the four jets fly, President Trump wherever the hell he want to go, and he got two jets in front of him and two jets behind him. And I was speaking on the same thing as what Ezekiel saw, and he called them four wheels. It was an important person or important peoples on that big ship that visit Ezekiel. Like Trump supposed to be important. So he gets two jets in front of him and two jets behind him. Now
So they were
I was
describing a ship for the most part.
and so I was speaking on Ezekiel. And then I did use a reference on Noah's grandson, you know, and I used that reference on trying to build a tower to heaven, which was Nimrod. And then you said Nicholas Tesser do it has the same thing to do with that particular story, whether it was Nimrod or whether it was Ezekiel. And I'm kind of, you know, not there on what was your question. And how did that I don't get that one.
The brother just left. Anybody else got a question? Want to build on the topic at hand? Quick, Rachel, Dojo.
They all gone.
No, they still here.
What up? How you doing?
We
No, I was wondering about
oh, he
the
just came
timeline.
back in. He just came back in. And did he just came back in?
I was wondering about the scripture that she was talking about, Ezekiel.
Ezekiel, yeah.
What chapter?
Chapter 1, verse 4.
Chapter 1, verse 4.
Yeah.
You said something about 16 through 35.
I was just giving an example on that particular subject when I was trying to explain to him on another topic that he had about when he was speaking on the devil and Adam and Eve, and he kind of asked some questions, you know, that was on his mind about if the God knew everything, why didn't he know where they were? And I said this was a physical God. This wasn't a spirit. Because if you God, you know everything. And so that's where that question kind of stemmed from. Uh, but go ahead. Let me hear what you got to say.
No, I was just talking about I was gonna definitely reference that scripture.
It's a beautiful scripture. It's almost like I said on that airplane where Ezekiel saw four wheels, and everywhere the other plane went, the four wheels went with it, and I was referencing that to uh, Air Force One. And that's what they do when they transport the presidents in Air Force One. Have two jets in front of it to go out to look to see if anything trying to shoot it down. All kind of radar equipment around it. Well, and that's an important person, which is the president of the United States. And Ezekiel ran up on an important being or extraterrestrials or aliens or whatever they want to call them. They were very important to reach Ezekiel to do a certain job. And that's the reason why he described the same thing in the Bible, the way that you could describe Air Force One.
Okay, so I guess a cherub could have been an interpretation of that too.
A who?
A cherub.
Well, cherubins.
Cherub.
Cherub?
Yeah, CHERUB. Cherub.
Which is the same thing as chairmans and sermons. Cerements are the positive ones, and the cherubins are the negative.
Because they said God sat on the back of the cherubs.
Exactly. Speaking on the cherubim angels, speaking on their ships. And that God that they're speaking about is in Allah. That's not in key because he represents cerements.
And what about like in like could it be also about like back then they rode on chariots and chariots had wheels and they also put these animals on front of the chariots. And
Well, those,
Brother Knowledge said something about, I'm just giving
those,
my analogy. I'm just giving a guess and staying on topic.
yeah, those ain't nothing but flying saucers or helicopters. If you look, if you go online right now on the Gizmo pyramids and some of the other pyramids that they've been finding, you'll see pictures of helicopters. Now these pyramids are 10 and 15,000 years old. You'll be see pictures of gliders. You see pictures of airplanes, and you also see pictures of flying saucers right there on the pyramids. And these, like I said, are 10 and 15,000 years old. That shit been going on. They've been flying. All that weird shit in the Bible ain't nothing but aircrafts that's flying above people's heads. The wrath of God, the whirlwind, the
The locust is looking like a whole bunch of helicopters in the air with fatigue
uh,
helicopters. Would look like a locust. Yes, they rode on chariots.
America, hey, in World War II, and World War One, and in the Korean War in the 20s, when they were flying, they had the face of what? Tigers, America, and lion faces on their airplanes. The Chinese had the faces of dragons on their airplanes, their bombers. Do you see it now?
Yeah, I'm following you, brother. I'm following you.
Yeah. They've been doing that shit, bro. They've been doing that. I mean, look at what the reptilians represent. Look at what the Pleiades represent, the Andromeans represent. Notice what they're representing. Look this shit up. Look it up. And start learning the signs of these different types of aliens who have visited Earth and that has been worshipped as gods. Look at the signs that they represent. The Egyptians. Look at what the Egyptians represented. They represent the hippopotamus, the frog. They represented the tadpole,
The snake.
uh, and the snake. These was all different provinces of Africa, Lower Africa, and Upper Africa. They all had different signs of their provinces, just like California has their emblem. New York, the Big Apple, has its emblem. The Rose City, Oregon, has its emblem. It specializes in roses. Different states, which is called provinces on the East Coast. But here, look at Georgia Peach, Atlanta. They represent peaches. It's the same fucking thing. You see it? The same thing. It was just more animals and insects were used back then to explain what they think they saw.
Yeah, because they didn't have a word or a name for it.
They did.
It was something
So,
uncomprehendable, so they.
so when they saw this craft, they likened it to a locust. And then when they saw this other craft, they liked it into a whirlwind because it picked up all kinds of dust like a helicopter do when it get ready to land. You got to duck. You got to close your eyes and have sunglasses on because of the dust that it kick up. All kinds, all kinds of different types of stories that people can grasp.
But you know what that made me think of? Like, how come it didn't do that on the moon?
Say that again. It didn't do it on a what?
The moon.
Didn't do what on the moon?
Exactly what you explained.
I mean, because it's the Earth.
How we get on the moon?
I don't even
He
know
said,
how we got to the damn moon.
because we was talking about telegraphing and landing.
Right.
They came to
Mm.
Earth for the resources because the Earth was plentiful in them. That's why their presence is still here today.
Oh no, I'm not talking about. I was just speaking in general. My bad. Okay. Hey, I'm back. I might can answer. Ask my question.
Oh, absolutely.
Mm. I
Well,
can't think that far back. And I had my phone charging. That's why I wasn't saying that earlier. I just thought about
oh,
this.
You was telling me how everybody uh killers
well,
from the
it tells
womb.
you, it
Or
tells you that
into
in
sin.
front of the book.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the first thing you start breaking down to get you prepared of what he getting ready to say. That's the reason why they would have to be into the same thing that you're into.
Yeah.
When it comes to reading, same type of material and the same type of information that you got.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Other than that, uh, you know,
We can tell them about it. Think about it. From the moment the sperm releases from the penis of the male, a race against 700 million other sperms, right? So now, in order to make it through the fight, the womb kills off the other ones in order for that one to make it. Every individual was born into this world as a killer from the womb. He or she does not yield to others, but goes for itself to hell with a million others. From the moment you are born, you are destined to die of old age and become feeble again. Why? Why does God, Yahweh, Allah, Ra, Jehovah, Elohim, Dios, whatever name you want to call him, allow this to happen? So the question is, if we are all born killers, does
get your ass in there. Come on.
does religion teach us these evil acts?
Say that again.
Does religion teach us these evil acts? And is there evil in Christianity? Is there evil in Judaism? Does the Quran speak on evil?
Well, you're reading from the book, right?
uh parts that I done memorized in my head. I got the book upstairs. Yeah, I read a considerable amount. Like I told you, man, I was reading it all last night and the night before. And you see, I bring my books to work every day, so I'm reading on break.
Right.
Get some good information.
Okay, who all on the line?
Cook, what up? We got Cook in the building.
What's up, Knowledge? What's up, everybody on the panel? How y'all doing?
All right.
What's good? Good.
And we still got a considerable amount here. There's 7 of us.
Good. Keep reading. I mean, that's interesting.
What up? I'm here.
All right. So since we're born killers from the womb, um, that's where should we start off at? What would be a good spot to start off at?
In the book,
Okay, let's talk about Hazma. Hazma, a devoted follower of Nabi Allah, the Prophet of Allah, was also killed by a javelin in his chest in the battle by the Ethiopian slave named uh, Washi under the order of the hen for revenge. Hens ate his liver and heart. There was the help, well, not there, but where was the help of Allah with all this happening to Allah creatures? So let's go to the Quran 3:152 claims that the Muslims lost this battle because they were more concerned with the booty than why did Hazma devout followers die. So the Prophet of Allah and his followers died by being devout followers. Allah didn't come down to save them in that battle.
yeah. Then once you keep going, it explains to you some of the quotes of the Quran on how Allah said that he would protect his own. That's where he's getting to. That he didn't protect his own. And that is all contradicting. And that all the serial killers, or
Correct.
most of them,
Correct. In the Quran 3071, Allah says, we have decreed that the believers will be victorious. But in this case, Hazma and the devoted followers of the Prophet of Allah were not victorious that day. Remember, they ate his liver and heart. But yet, in the Quran 30:47, Allah said, we have decreed that the believers will be victorious. And then in the Quran 40:51, it says, victory will be granted to our messengers and to those who believe both in life and on the day of resurrection. But did that happen? No.
he's showing you the contradictory of the Quran. That's what he's showing you.
UEP, peace, God. What's up? HOTC.
He also do the same thing as you read on. Too. It all say the same shit.
every holy book. Because if you look at the word worship, worship, if you want to go back to the Sumerian times, it was wan or vam, and it meant to work for. So worship literally means to work for the deity. Now, the work for the deity, they would get all these offerings and bring them once a week and abundantly. And then about a day later, all of it would be gone. And one of the most pleased offerings to most of these gods was burning flesh, burning of lambs, animals as a sacrifice to show your devotion. You worked hard to get that cattle fat, and you offer it to your deity. And that comes into something we was talking about at the beginning uh, of of the call, how these deities love flesh. They love the smell of flesh, the taste of flesh.
Yeah. And that means that they're not spirits.
Peace, Mike Coleon.
They're flesh and blood beings.
And these beings had to be massive, and they were giants compared to us. We're ants to them, because if all they needed to sustain was to have a presence of them being felt, which is a statue or monument, somewhere where they could come land a ship, pyramid areas, they came and they got this food that was given to them by the masses. So it shows you that they didn't eat often, but when they ate because it was so massive. So they could go a week without eating. But now, if they didn't get their worship and you didn't work for them, and they didn't get, you didn't bring your offerings, that's when they say, oh, the guy's gonna get mad. And so this when all the disasters happen, catastrophic things, because you're not pleasing the gods, which is the other beings.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Still here.
Yes, we still here, brother. We still here. Anybody want to say something? Anybody want to chime in?
Hey, what's going on, bro?
Peace, quit.
What's going on? What the guy still on here to say you was an Egyptologist or whatever?
Mr. Johnny, yes, the elder, he's on here.
Okay. Yeah. I had a question, just general question. Like, you say you were Egyptologist?
I said I
What?
studied.
You study? Okay. Yeah, I was just wondering, like, they got like Egyptology, like, what's so important about Egypt? Like, why don't have like a Ethiopianology, or you know what I'm saying? Or Zimbabwe or Congoology or shit like that. Like, what's so important about Egypt? Like,
Because of the
we got
certain
we got pyramids all over the world. So, what's so important?
on that particular area in Africa, where Egypt was where a lot of the dynasties started from. Now, and there were dynasties in Africa everywhere, but they chose that particular part. Your Osiris, different types of pharaoh, Akhenaten, and all of these types of dynasties. that were
Information
there
man,
over in
peace.
that particular area, which is where Egypt is. It's just a different part. It's just a different part of Africa. That's all it is. It's just some people decide to stay in New York, and some other people love California. Some people love Texas, and some people can't stand Texas and Phoenix, but they prefer to be in Florida and not Denver, Colorado. Same thing, bro.
Okay, so you saying that's where all the dynasties started at? In Egypt?
Over in Egypt, in Africa, that's where a lot of, that's where your main dynasties are spoken on.
See, he didn't say all. He said most.
That's
Okay, so that I'm saying that's said by the Egyptians, which I'm sure probably won a war or whatever, so they can write their own history. So,
Egyptians were black people, and Egyptians ain't nothing but Africans. Jerusalem's ain't nothing but Africans. Ethiopians ain't nothing but Africans. They're all on the continent of Africa, just like you got 52 states in America,
mhm.
but they all Americans. They just
Yeah,
live in different parts. Okay, so the special thing about Egypt, Ghana, Zimbabwe, Zulu, is where people stayed during the times of their histories.
But is that West Africa where
Well,
a lot of slaves were shipped from?
well, you got, of course, you got north, east, south, and west.
that's
Look
East
this information up.
Egypt, Egypt, like East Africa.
You know, Johannesburg is South Africa. Then how far is Egypt from Johannesburg? So you can answer your own questions.
I just think it's something up with that.
So,
That
but
it's only
yeah, like okay,
Egyptology. There's no other ology. Like, I think it's something up
so
with that.
so so
I ain't trust.
apparently we're no. I mean, I pause. You. I mean, if you have a question, go ahead and get it out, bro.
Nah, go
Man,
ahead, go ahead. It's good.
I mean, it's just like with
It
the
just ain't
story of Jesus.
sense
The
to me.
story of Jesus is just a recreation of the story of Horus. You know,
Hmm.
Yeah, I
when you
got that.
think of the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost, you think of Isis, Osiris, Horus. You know,
Yeah, tenfold. Got you. Got that. Got that. Yeah. I think it's another. It's something else to it though. Like, where did they get their information from? You feel me? Like, they had to get their shit from somewhere. You feel me? That's what they got to tell you.
well, see, the information was always here, it just was different languages. So shit was said in different ways. There was many ways to say describe one person or one thing. You know, but like when people gets to babbling and you got people with these different languages, you know, things get a bit confusing because people recreate something in their language and according to their culture when it's basically symbolizing the same thing somebody done already said. They're just recycling it, saying it different. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I got you. But it's still not telling you where they get the information from or the knowledge of what. I had to look into it, I guess. You know, who's the teacher of the teacher? You know, that's all I'm asking.
That's the $1 million question right there.
Mm-hmm.
Where did all this knowledge come from? The ancients of the earth, and other places. Mr. Johnny, what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, yeah. I'm right here. What's up?
We was just talking about where did this knowledge come from? What's your thoughts on that?
Comes from the universe. It's called automation instead of information.
This has been a good build so far, man. Uh, Cook, Indigenous, Rachel. Anybody got a question?
Hey, knowledge. I actually got not really a question, but like a guess it could be a question or a comment, but
Go ahead, brother.
I kind of heard y'all talking about like different parts of Holy Books, the Bible, the Quran. I was in and out because I was getting up and getting dressed for work, so I kind of heard different pieces of it. But what I want to say is, has anybody ever put any of those to the test? And what I mean is,
You kind of low, brother.
hold on for a second. Switch out. Okay, can you hear me a little better now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. What I wanted to ask is, has anybody really put any of those teachings to the test like I did? This was over 20 years ago. I was looking for something. I was looking for a way out because I didn't like the way I was living. And only thing I had then, well, the only thing I saw then was the Bible. So I picked it up, read it. I can't tell you how many times I read it. Didn't seem to be working out for me. So I put that down, picked up a Quran. That didn't seem to work out. So eventually I went back to the Bible, met my wife. We got together. And make a long story short, I did something that they did in the Bible, which was sacrifice. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna try this thing out and see if it worked. So I asked for a few things. Me and my wife got together. We asked for a few things together, and I asked for a few things separately.
Yeah.
And I made because I stuck to one particular verse where it says it's better to not make a vow than to make one and break it. I held on to that one verse when I made my vow. And from the time that I made it to right now, today, he held his end of the bargain and I done held my end of the bargain. So I guess my question would be is I know if you read holy books, if you look hard enough, you're going to find contradictions. Even though this tractor that I'm getting ready to get into right now, all the wheels look good, everything look good on it, it's functional. But if I look hard enough, something going to be wrong with it. And what I'm saying is, no matter what you have or no matter what you do, if you look hard enough for something, eventually you're going to find it because your mind is going to manufacture some sort of reason to fit the flaw that you're looking for. But do we really put it to the test for ourselves? Do we really take this book, such as the Bible or such as the Quran, and really put it to the test for ourselves as an individual, like I did? Because I'm still living it. It's still happening for me right now. And have I experienced grave loss? Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've had two of my brothers murdered in cold blood right here in Atlanta, Georgia. I've lost uncles. I lost best friends. So I have experienced grief, but not one time did I ask God why did he do it. I never asked him why he did it because I didn't. He didn't do it. There was another man that killed them. They did it. So I guess my whole point is I would challenge people to put it to the test for themselves and then see if it works. If it doesn't work, then you can truly say, well, this right here don't work. I tried it. I read it. I had faith in it. I believed in it. Did none of it work for me, so I gave it up. But my ultimate challenge would be how long is that gonna take? Because I did it for years and I ain't see no results. Then all of a sudden, stuff started happening, and it started happening back to back to back, and it started happening rapidly. So much so to where I was like, "Where's all this stuff?" It, in other words, what I'm trying to say is, once it started happening, I almost forgot that I had prayed for it already. It was like it started happening so quick. I'm like, what? I was enjoying it so fast, I forgot that I had asked for all of it. It happened at a time when I had forgot about it. All the times when I'm trying to remember it, where I'm like, okay, I asked for this, I ain't seen nothing. I said I was gonna give up this and get this, I ain't seen nothing. All the time I was waiting for it, and nothing happened. As soon as I forgot about it, that's when stuff started pouring in like rain.
Yeah,
So there's
yeah,
another element of it. When
right.
will you stop? When if you do believe in it and it's not happening, what is the breaking point to you saying, well, okay, I'm gonna give it up? Or are you gonna ride it all the way out like I
And
did?
and
I've
and,
been
and,
riding the wave for 20 years.
and that's a very good testimony. Whether I mean, you could go into Buddhism, they have the same testimony. You could go into Zoroastrianism, they have the same testimony. You
Yes.
can go into Islam. They have the same testimony. They prayed
Mm-hmm.
to Allah. They prayed to Hare Krishna. They prayed to Arjuna. They prayed to this God, and they prayed to that God. And you could go across this earth and get the same testimony in 100 different sets of religions that
Mm-hmm.
you have just witnessed in walking in your life. Why is that so? That's the ultimate question. Because if you don't believe in Jesus Christ, that he's the savior, then you're not going to heaven. If you don't believe in Allah, you can't enter the hereafter. If you don't say Hare Krishna 5 times in the verse before you die, you will not go into their heaven. In Hinduism, it's all the same thing. Everybody is saying, my religion did this for me. I prayed and this happened. See, now, if you think that you are alone and that Jesus Christ intervened, or the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit intervened, then you got the Hindus, you got Zoroastrianism, you got Islam that'll tell you the same story that you just told. Why? If you cannot enter into no other kingdom except for my kingdom, and my kingdom is Jesus Christ. If you can't enter in no other kingdom except Ashadullah Harak Meharahim and Ashadullah Harak Min Ilamin, and that Allah is the greatest, and in the name of Allah, and in the Hinduism, and in the Hare Krishna, and the Lomani Ayin, in the Japanese, and all of that, then what makes your testimony so different and special from theirs? Because They all did the same thing you did, and probably others had more success or less success, but was happy with their path and their state of being. Why? That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, see what I think it is I think it well, me personally, I don't think I think that is the actual belief that you can achieve something. Now, when I really sit back and think about it, I asked the question one time and then I didn't ask it no more. I dealt with it and that was it. I asked the question one time. I said, okay, is this really me doing it or is it my prayers?
It's you. You doing
But
it.
but
You do.
when I thought
So
about it, when
go
when
ahead.
when let me finish. When I
Okay.
when I asked that question, and then when I thought about it, I put that to the test. I said, okay, well, what exactly did I do? Like, how did I get to this position in the first place? Like I take my home for an example. When my wife and I start before that. I take my car for example. When my wife and I bought my car, we bought it on a check that was attached to a closed account, meaning we basically fraudulently bought a car.
Right.
But by the time they cashed the check, we had to open the account and put some money in it. That wasn't on me. When we got ready to purchase our home, our first home, because I'm in my third home now, but we got ready to purchase our first home, we did not have that money in our account at the time that we purchased our home. We gave them a statement, we gave them a bank statement that wasn't recent. But yet we were able, some kind of way, we were able to make that payment every month. And what I'm saying is, when I thought about how did I even get, where did the money come from? Because I wasn't working enough. My wife wasn't working enough, but some kind of way we made those bills. We paid them every month. So that's
Okay.
when I stopped asking. That's when I stopped asking because to me, it became clear that I had to have some help other than what I was doing because I wasn't doing enough. I wasn't making enough money in
Can
order
I
to
give
make it balance it out.
can I give you one example on how a person can achieve whatever they want to achieve? An example is this here, and I understand exactly what you're saying, brother. I was a Christian for 20 some years. I was a Muslim for 20 some years. I was a Jehovah's Witness for a year or two. I've been in all sets of religions. I've prayed for things and things have happened. I didn't know if Jehovah did it, if Allah did it, if Jesus did it, if Harry Krishna did it. All I know is when I did pray for it, I did go out and try to get that which I prayed for. I tried to meet my father halfway. I understand exactly what you're saying. And it's one of the most beautiful testimonies that I've heard in a long time, brother. I mean, I ain't got no hard feelings about nobody's faith, nobody's belief, and nobody's conviction and devotion in their God. But God said, greater is he that's in you than he that is in the world. And speaking about everybody has a God in them, regardless of what culture they're from. Once you dig deep inside and you bring him or her out, ain't nothing that you won't accomplish. Prayer ain't nothing but meditation. Prayer ain't nothing but confidence because you have to be confident, a confident, excuse me, confidence to ask for that which you are going to try to go out and get because we already know ain't no pies in the sky. If you ask for a glass of water, if you don't have nobody to get up and go get it for you, you got to get up and go get it yourself. You can pray on it all you want. It'll never come to you if don't nobody give it to you or you get up and go get it yourself. And that's all you did. The universe will bless those who believe in themselves. And it's just a challenge. I came to Atlanta uh, before. I've been there, stayed there. I came to North Carolina all by myself, a leap of faith. I didn't want to leave Oregon because that was my haven and my secure place. But when I prayed and I came here, I can say the Lord put me in the hands of some beautiful until I got on my feet. And now I'm doing great. But is that a divine intervention? Or is that the confidence that I had that in that God that is in me? See, I don't have to question these type of things because that Christ in the Bible, whatever person believe in, it says, ask and it shall be given. He's speaking on the universe law. If you do good things will happen. When you pay a light bill, when you pay a car note, when you pay insurance, when you pay life insurance, when you pay a bill, the universe do not know that you're paying a light bill. They don't know that you're paying an insurance bill. It only know that you're giving. And when you give, you will receive.
Facts, facts. I can agree with that.
Oh yeah. That I could definitely agree with that. I can agree with that. But so you saying? Let me ask you: are you basically saying that the universe is responding to your wants or your needs as opposed to an entity responding?
Yeah, because you have to realize and you have to understand that everything is spirit. Everything is spirit. Everything is spirit. And your thoughts will not come back void nor empty, but filled with the measurements and the abundance of that which you have asked for. When you ask for something and you focus on it and you believe and have the confidence that that which you have asked for is a need that will sustain the path that you own, the universe will answer because you have not asked for evil. It'll give you evil too, but the wages of sin is death. These quotes from the Bible ain't nothing but quotes from the hieroglyphics and it's from the corn form of the papyrus, the Book of the Dead, and the scriptures on the pyramids. This is all knowledge of our ancestors that has been lost. And all we have to do is tap into it and it'll come to us.
All you need is you.
And you know what? I think that's my point. I think that was I think the I think the point that I'm trying to make is what you just said. All you got to do is tap into it. And I think I was able to tap into it, but I think I was able to tap into it through what I believed and what I had faith in.
And I
And I
believe that.
believe that that's what.
I
Yeah, I
believe
think
that
that
too.
that's why I was able to tap into it.
I believe that was a
So yeah,
calluses.
I agree. I agree with you.
Yeah,
You're absolutely right.
yeah, that was a calluses. I could have been a Muslim and I could have been in the same position that you were in. And I could have done the same type of prayer in Islam or in Arabic, and those I think it would have. I think I would have had the same result because see, you're living by what they call faith and confidence, but you knew it was a fact. If something that's not out of your reach, if you reach forward, that it would be given to you. See, you knew that, and you had no doubt in your mind. So you didn't put a riff in the universe when you asked for it. You believed and it came. Now you had no doubt. Now, if you'd had doubt or was fuck this shit, I'm gonna go smoke me some weed and go smoke me some crack or shoot me some heroin, you still would have been in the same predicament that you would have been in that when you asked for it. But what made things change for you was your confidence, your tiredness of being where you were, and to elevate yourself. And it accepted that. The God in you gave to you that which you are worthy of. And it's not going to give you no more or no less. Every God will reach their own level of not just understanding and wisdom and knowledge, but all that totality of that inner being that's in that particular person will either rise or fall.
It's been a good one. This been a good call. So, Mr. Johnny.
Yes, sir.
So, know it's getting a bit late. So, tomorrow around the same time, I feel well, I'll probably call you before then, and we get some stuff together.
Okay, let's try to do it a little early. You know, I got to be to work tomorrow at
Yeah,
7,
yeah.
but I was compelled to be a part of this group of my brothers and sisters, of my brothers and my sister.
I
Uh,
appreciate you. I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying?
And so,
Give you all the adulations,
And,
brother, for coming in.
and hey,
thank you.
before you leave, yeah, I definitely want to get you on the line again, man, because everything you just said, all the way down to the drugs, because I was heavy in them, I was heavy selling them. How would you know that? I didn't
Because I,
mention nothing about that. You know what I mean? But
because that's what I did, and I had the same type of prayer. I had the same type of energy, and I had developed the same type of confidence inside of me, and in my heart, and in my spirit that I needed. So I prayed, I prayed, I prayed, and I prayed, and I learned that prayer was medication and meditation. It's a good medication for the spirit and the soul. And you could take it to any religion that you want. But see, the only thing about that is your inner being, the wise of the wise, the most knowledgeable of all the knowledge. You are thousands and millions of years old in spirit and in soul. You've been here many, 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 many times. And we have to tap in to that confidence and into our heart and our being in order to elevate ourselves out of those conditions that we ourselves placed ourselves in. And I was one of the biggest drug dealers, biggest drug users, and I prayed my way out of it. I developed my confidence. I prayed to Allah. I said in Jesus' name, amen. And I prayed to Aunt Anana. I prayed to Jehovah. But one thing that I didn't do is give myself the credit of doing all of this that I've done to bring myself forward into where I'm at today. I took the power from myself by giving it to someone else. And great is He that is in the world. Is that what they said? That's in me, that is in the world, excuse me. Great is He that is in me than he that is in the world. And it's just a switch. You just flip the switch. I flipped the switch. I turned the shit from day to night. That's all I did. I got out of it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, knowledge. I know you gotta close the show now, man. But okay. as soon as yeah, because I really wish I had came on when y'all first started. But I'm gonna try to make sure I catch him when he come back because I got a lot of more questions and stuff for him, man. But some questions, but some testimonies and stuff, and I really want to hear what he got to say about it because I feel touched. You know what I mean? I mean, emotionally and spiritually touched by some of the stuff he's saying because I know it because what he's saying was me. And it's something else. It's one thing when you go through something and the people around you are going through it and you know they are, but then it's a whole nother thing when you go through something and somebody is reading you, somebody you don't even know, somebody you just met, somebody that might be 100 miles from you, and they telling you about yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's that's real touching, man. And I want to tell the brother, I'm glad I met him. I'm glad I, had a chance to just hear him out. And I can't wait till you come back, brother. I'll be right here waiting on you.
Okay, and I appreciate y'all too. And I'm gonna have to say good night because I got to get up in 6 hours.
All right, Mr. Johnny, go get some rest, brother.
Y'all have a blessed one. Peace out.
You
You
too.
too, brother. Thank you. Yeah, Nodis, you got to get him back up here, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
On the real, it's hard to find. First of all, it's hard to find somebody with that much brain power
Yeah, man.
who's
That
willing to share it.
that brother's very powerful. Like I said, man, he done gave me some books. And like I said, I'm constantly building with him every day. Like I said, we work together. So
Oh,
he's a
y'all
very
work together.
yes, he's a very intelligent guy, man. I was very fortunate to meet him. And the crazy part about it, right? He stays in the same neighborhood as my aunt. So that's even better right there.
Yeah, yeah.
And I swear how he was talking now, he's the same person. You know, he's the same person. Like this.
Yeah, he like that. He like that all the time, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, you can tell. Well, I could tell.